On as I begin recording. So, it's going to be a bit of a lengthy recap, just going over pretty much the high points of the arc. The nightmare is over. Tasked with the retrieval of King Drator Yornmeyer's daughter, Princess Tora, you delved into the Crystal Flame mines, entering the deepest, darkest places in the world. You discovered a greater threat than the attack on Doonhollow. It seems that was just the first waves of a massive mind-controlled Deep Dwarf army led by their king, Tharadol Ashbite, descendant of Nogdor Ashbite. An army that would swallow the Silver Kingdom, perhaps all of Mayland. Stalking through the caves, you found an underground twilight grove, and within it a small satyr girl called Vladimir, searching for a crystal egg. You also made an alliance with the Arrakis, monstrous spider creatures from eons past, who were fighting a territorial war with Deep Dwarves. In a meeting with their queen, a massive broodmother called Silix, who'd had a contract put out for her by the Hunter's Keep by miners, you discovered the Twilight Prophecies, a grand supposed retelling of the events both past, present and future, in which a crystal egg holds great significance. Regardless, you discovered a pact between three forces. The first was Tharadol, his armies, and a sect of dark priests. Secondly was a company of elite goblin mercenaries, led by the Grunker-infatuated goblin sorceress Fizzy, and her father, hobgoblin warlord Krazax, who mercilessly killed Grunker's mother in search of an artifact known as the Heartfire Crystal, which Grunker possesses. Thirdly was the traitorous Illithid Halflich, Mortath, who sold out his own colony of Shuggoth to the entity which made a pact with the King Tharadol, and orchestrated all of this. Necrathis, the Pale One. You and your Arrakis allies launched an attack on the Deep Dwarf war camp, situated in a massive magma chamber. While the Arrakis attacked their garrison, you attacked their forge works, finding Grunker's childhood friend, Fliz, and fought Krazax and Mortath within, freeing a sizable sizable force of Deepling goblins, Grunker's people, armed them and led them into battle alongside the Arrakis. You assaulted the Flamekeeper Temple, allying yourselves with Danon Pyrophist, a Deep Dwarf pyromancer who apparently wasn't under the control of Necrathis. You discovered a powerful elemental spirit of fire was being enslaved and siphoned of its power by Fizzy. You and the rest of your party fought Fizzy and recently retreated Krazax, killing Krazax in the process, though Fizzy fled. It was revealed that the soul of Grunker's mother, Snaggletooth, had been bound to the Heartfire Crystal all along, and with her aid, Grunker absorbed the essence of the waning fire elemental spirit, gaining new heights of power. You all gathered yourselves and launched one final assault upon the Obsidian Spire, the seat of power for Tharadol and his dark priests, where you found Princess Tora chained in the dungeons, and she joined your attack. You all defeated Tharadol and Mortath by his side, and final preparations were made for the final attack on the colony of Shuggoth, where Necrathis likely still resided. You descended into the very bowels of the earth, discovered flooded, ruined, and ancient underground cities inhabited by an unknown and menacing presence. You discovered the bodies of strange rat-like and mole people, and eventually found the massive brain-like form of Shuggoth, to which you delved within, weaving your way through its fleshy innards and chambers, encountering horrific sights, particularly the process of Mind Flayer reproduction, numerous twisted experiments, and the necromantic rot that seems overtaken the colony from the inside out. You discovered a cloning chamber filled with clones of Morteth. You fought the last clone after you destroyed the rest, and the clone swiftly fled, seeking self-preservation. You descended further into the very heart of the colony, the chamber of the Elder Brain, upon which was attached a mass of machinery used to control it. You encountered Necrathis, a massive pale beholder, who spoke with a large humanoid shadow in a scrying mirror. You fought with the beholder, defeating it with a creative use of spells from Aja and Saoyun, but it was raised soon after by the shadow in the mirror as a death tyrant. A second battle ensued, and Necrathis took the life of Saoyun before it was destroyed by Liska. In anger, the shadow in the pale mirror threatened that rivers of blood to come would be on your hands before it vanished. The colony of mind flayers descended upon all of you, and before they could unleash a wave of mind blasts, a tall, imposing mind flayer appeared in the center of the chamber, clearly a mind flayer of status. It seemed to ease the gathering crowd and commended you for freeing the Elder Brain. As a reward, you would be able to leave unharmed. You all took a waystone, revealed by the tall mind flayer, and eventually made your way back to Vardnia's Grove, where you took a long, well-earned rest, relieved that perhaps at long last that the nightmare is over.
Also, Sal's alive.
Also, Sal is alive, yes, revived by Aja. So, we bring back the camera to all of you. One by one, you all come to, either from sleep or your trances. The day, night, it's new. It's difficult to tell here, especially since the night sky is the first thing that you all see after waking.
Look at faint bugs.
This place will always confuse me with that.
Snack on.
I know we're Lord knows how far below the surface, and yet the gesture towards, the starry sky above.
Is there any difference with the egg after we wake up?
Let's see here. The egg is definitely where you left it, but you almost have to cover your eyes looking at it. It's floating approximately 5 feet from the ground, shining with this the pale blue light like a miniature star.
May I do a Arcana check to sort of see what is happening here?
You can indeed.
All right. Get to that part of the sheet. And because I'm actively doing this instead of a reaction, I'll guidance myself on it. because that's what it's for. 18.
Yeah.
Okay. You're just approaching the egg, kind of. As you approach the egg, you kind of touch it for a moment as it hovers in the air, and the moment you touch it, it kind of drops in your grasp.
Oh.
This is very strange. You can practically feel the resonating power coming from this egg, and what looks like the shining glow seems to coalesce into condensed motes of starlight, kind of peppered across one specific side of its surface.
Just the one side?
One side, yes.
Is the one side oriented towards anything? Or anyone?
You notice as Aja moves, the large kind of coalescing point of starlight seems to move across the surface of the egg.
Oh, so it's kind of like a compass.
Seemingly pointed towards some sort of small clearing in the nearby trees where once may have been a cave wall.
And where is that?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Title screen.
It seems to be pointing towards the southwest. And could have sworn this forest was within the cave. As you follow where this seeming point of starlight seems to be this point of starlight on the egg seems to be pointing. It's just a continuation of the forest.
Just more forest.
Sal looks a bit to Aja and then just back in the direction the egg seems to be pointing, and then just, I think, and might be wrong, just saying this now, I think that's a portrait.
Yeah, as you look around, kind of pointing this out. There's no cave walls, nor cave ceilings. You look up, you see the brilliant cosmic starscape. And a pair of moons shine brightly in the sky. One is a silvery white, the other is a smaller and kind of deep pinkish red. You all know this as the twin moons of the mother and the matron. And again, where once this cave wall is now just a continuation of the forest. In fact, as you look around, there are no cave walls to be seen anywhere.
Well, shit.
I think I was wrong.
It's just a continuation of this twilight forest. And as a light breeze kind of rustles through the leaves of these twisting, fey-like trees.
Oh, fuck. Alan's gonna finally stir from his little spot. Stand up, so pop it back in his neck. Ugh. What a night.
You also
Do I
notice,
notice a difference?
one thing you do notice, in particular, Tora and Vladimir are missing.
Yeah, I was about to say, was that because they weren't on the map or because they're actually missing? Wait a minute. Who's swear, if one more fucking thing's gone. And do I notice the change in scenario, like location per se, Jenner?
With your higher than average passive perception, you would notice this, and particular as I imagine Sayun's also kind of pointing this out.
What's happened? Where are we now?
I think we're where we used to be.
What do you mean where we used to be? We were in a cave. This doesn't look like a cave anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we're there anymore.
Dylan,
Yeah.
do you remember what Latmir said when we first came here?
Refresh my memory. I'm wondering where they've gone.
Sal sort of just gestures with both arms to where they are currently. This place is the same as where we were, but it is on another plane.
Oh, you kidding me? I thought I was done with this shit.
You're telling me? Yesterday I was lying dead on the floor. Now I'm on another plane.
Right. First important point. Where the hell is Tora and where the hell is Vardin?
We don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
we've
start
been there
looking.
before, haven't we?
You've certainly been here before, but probably not this exact place.
Oh, yeah. I believe when Grunky and I got banished.
Mm-hmm.
Velen's going to start looking around for signs of, maybe a struggle, maybe a reason why, why they're gone, shit like that.
Grunker, go ahead and make a perception check as you're looking around.
So the entirety of the cave is gone. There's no trace whatsoever left of where we were.
You're in the same place where you were, but the cave is gone.
Yeah, so
For all intent and purposes, we're in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, the place we were in have moved with us.
In that case, can I use some survival to see if I can track them? From where they were when we went to sleep to where they may be now.
Go ahead and make a survival check.
I'd like to help by looking around for signs of movement or struggle.
And I'm looking for fairies.
Okay. Then I guess advantage if...
Teamwork.
Look like they might be small and bipedal. No, nothing. It's literally like they just up and disappeared.
I'm about to lose my fucking patience with this place.
I think they're still, where this place used to be.
Maybe. Right now, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, maybe we were brought here for a reason.
Like what?
Hey, hey.
The egg?
That one spell.
What's spell?
Yep.
Grunker, did
Where's
you
the-
get that?
It's whatever is looking at
I
me.
look where
Sow
he's pointing.
turns in the direction.
You all see, just looking at you from the edge of the forest in your clearing here, you see what looks like a pair of blue spectral deer just watching on curiously. Specifically, a blue doe and a ghostly stag.
Well, at least they're not attacked. Goodness. But how the hell do we get back?
No, also, I think.
Hey,
that's
Roger,
the
Yeah.
least
can you pull out the egg?
100% right
In my
now.
hand.
All right,
And
Okay.
does it still have the
it
directional
seems to
stars?
surface. Yeah.
Okay.
You also notice as you hold it up from the town, slowly kind of drifting and orbiting around it,
Uh-oh.
and you swear you can hear ghostly choirs. A pair of kind of almost not quite angelic, but these
Alien?
Ethereal.
It's here singing this sort of occasional trill choir, i.e., what you hear right now in Sirenscape.
Right,
Cool.
as long as that
That point
It
in mind is
seemed
going
to
to
be,
turn
yes.
it points a certain direction, like just do the
The
stars move
stars
as the egg
indeed
moves.
move across the egg surface.
Well, I think with Ladmia, this is probably the best way to find her, and Tora at the same time.
Alright. Everyone get your shit together. We're moving out.
Yeah, if they're here and not like, like where we came from.
Well, if where we came from is here now, I think they should be here, and not where we came from.
My head hurt.
Yeah, if you...
Right, let's go. Hand me the egg. Bestie. You go up front just in case we find anything nasty. I don't want to take any risks.
Protected.
Well, if we're going to be following it, we kind of need
Well,
it out.
I'd like the 9, so I think we can leave it out for some time. And
you know those big fuzzy things? Big lives like in forests and stuff.
like moths?
No, like a big animal. What's it called? Burr.
Bears? Yes.
Yeah, there's one over there.
Bird.
You follow Grunker's where Grunker's pointing. You now see a large spectral bear seems to have also joined alongside the two deers.
They eat meat, right?
Let's not find
And it's
out.
just all three of them
I
are
mean-
just watching. Very, very
Given that the deer are not running from the bear, Maybe
they're in
not.
Maybe they're in cahoots.
But maybe they
No.
don't need
We
anything
should get
because
moving
there's nothing
regardless.
Kapoor,
Let's go. Just
Yeah, I don't want to be
Keep-
here any
keep the
longer.
egg.
I want to go home.
Yeah, you and me both.
keep the egg protected, and we'll head on out.
Okay, I'll hold on to the egg. You hold on to the sword and shield. Sound fair?
I mean,
Don't you need your hands for casting?
I can cast with just my rod.
Well, I've got the bag of holding, so if I have it while we're moving, and I can quickly stow it away if there's trouble.
That could be a thing. Actually, I don't.
What's on your mind?
I don't know if we should use the bag of holding because of how it works with planar, storage, and we're in this weird planar pocket, and I have no idea what would happen.
Well, let me test something. And I'm
Well, I
gonna
mean-
reach into the bag of holding and just try
I
and pull out a coin.
You think deeply about simple copper, a simple copper piece.
Oh no, I'm out of coppers. I dumped that shit. I'll just take out a silver one.
The kind of glistening silver piece, and you think, and you do indeed pull out a silver copper piece. The bag of holding itself seems unaffected.
Silver copper piece.
Sorry, sorry,
I get what you mean. I'm teasing. I've merged
half
money
and half.
together.
misspoke.
Ozra has ran about 15 feet away.
I think
like
if it was
fine, Archer.
going, I think if it was going to explode or something, it would have already when we first got here.
That's the opening part.
Well, either way, it seems to be
Like
working
putting
fine.
a vacuum in a vacuum.
What's a vacuum?
You are very brave to
Vacuum in
risk
a-
instantly being obliterated.
I feel like if something had gone wrong, it would have done so already.
All right, and we're going.
And we
Okay.
are going.
Okay. Egg says this way.
Egg does say this way.
Meanwhile, after Aja's mentioned vacuum in a vacuum and that, you can visibly see Sal sort of thinking over things.
I love that you got the barbarian and the fighter is like, what's a vacuum?
I mean, for real, what is a vacuum?
Yeah, what is a vacuum?
You
A lag of air.
What's air?
I'm just kidding.
begin.
Well, I shall follow my eggy compass.
Okay. You start making your way through the gap in the trees, the clearing in the trees, trying to see if there's any significance or connection to the way that the bright starlight motes kind of shine upon the egg, seeming to direct you. You see motes of light. In this realm seems to eternally drift through the air like raindrops, but that never seem to fall. The clearing gives way to a wider clearing, and a wider clearing beyond that. You also notice that you're now beginning to gather more and more of an audience, more spectral creatures seeming to follow in your wake. A couple more wisps have joined you, particularly kind of drifting around Aja.
I think I know why we're getting an audience.
Because
Hey.
they want the egg.
We
They
should
want
pick
the egg. Yeah,
It's
no
not that-
surprise.
You can see
I don't think it's the fact that they want the egg. I think it's the fact that they're just drawn to it.
I think
We
it's
should
because
pick up
we're
the
the only
pace anyway.
non-ghost creatures here.
Maybe.
You can see a couple of small spectral foxes have joined in as well. A couple of ghostly squirrels kind of jitter down one of the fey-like trees.
bit of everything here. Where's the spectral platypus?
In Spectral Australia.
Eventually, the wider clearing gives way to what looks like it seems to open into a plateau. where you are finally able to see the forest in its entirety. Overlooking it from this tall plateau. The forest seems to expand forever in all directions. An endless sea of deep blues, purples, and turquoise greens, fey-like branches of deep burgundy wood kind of curl and twist in distinct patterns, all of which seem to gesture towards a central apex of the forest. And at the forest's heart, sat atop a tremendous hill, is a massive willow tree that seems to lean to one side. You can imagine it to be at least 500 feet tall. The wispy leaves almost look like crystalline feathers, kind of shedding wisps of light as an oak sheds acorns. You also notice a brilliantly bright blue glow rests at its base, somewhere behind the clustered canopies of trees surrounding it.
Which way is Eggy direction pointing?
You kind of hold the egg up for a moment, Aja. The motes of starlight kind of seem to shine brighter than ever before. And off in the distance, the glow at the base of this tremendous willow tree shines in response.
Alright, I guess we go in that way.
Any way down the plateau?
You can see, looks like a number of small pathways in the ground formed by what looks like these great gatherings of strange, deep blue flowers that seem to curl around the plateau, down into the forest below.
Alright. That is the way we're going to go, I think.
We're gonna look back. Is the animal still following us?
They're still following. They're keeping their distance. You now see two large spectral bears. Both of which seem to be paying very, very close attention to Liska.
Let's maybe move a bit faster. Not liking all them eyes on me.
What color are your eyes?
It's just spectral outlines of creatures. There's no eyes, no features. It's just shapes. Essences of creatures.
Never trust something with no eyes. Alright, so yeah, just gonna head on down. Like, none of them, like, we're gathering, but none of them, it's just they're all curious. Not any, like, not threatening.
Yeah. It's very, very curious. Venom, go ahead and make an insight check for me, please.
Okay. Since I am suspicious of these things. Oh, that's the wisdom save.
That's a wisdom save.
I'll just apply the
Rolled a 14.
Oh, it's the same modifier, so it is a 20.
Oh, okay. 20. There is definitely an essence of curiosity. And the way that some of them seem to lower their heads almost indicates reverence. And not just towards the egg. Though most of the attention is focused on the egg. Much of the attention, curiosity, and some of the reverence seems to be upon your group.
Don't seem harmful, but again, can't take a chance at this point. I'm just gonna keep on moving.
Alright.
Yes, for the third time, we go down.
Yes, we go down.
Begin making your way down into the forest. The air is comfortably warm. You hear the ever-present shimmers of wisps as they drift by. More of them seem to take interest in your group as you follow this path of deep blue flowers. Unless the tree canopies block out the light from above, you're plunged into near darkness, save for the luminescence of the foliage and the growing number of wisps and creatures that seem to accompany you in your wake. Much like the effect of UV lighting on glowing objects in the dark, it's a sight to behold, a veritable wonder of bioluminescence. After a while, continuing to follow the direction of this egg, you begin to feel yourselves climbing, ascending up a hill. As you pass certain clusters of flowers, they seem to bloom in the wake of the egg's light. The grass and clovers seem to glow in response to in response to your steps, shining with bioluminescence with each footfall. It's then that you hear it. A multitude of choir voices. Wisps gathering from the forest in long, drifting trails in your wake. Liska, you once recall Vardmir mentioning to you the spirits of those long since passed, all singing in unison. You see more wisps emerging from either side of the forest's edge before you. Spectral creatures join their sides. Deer, stags, wolves, large bears.
Well, sorry, I just got a picture of like ghostly Lion King.
Hey, Jane.
Yeah, I was about to say the same.
Yep.
I'm just gonna look up. Is there like a sky?
As you look up, the trees themselves seem to creak open. The canopy parts, and a shaft of crystalline moonlight bathes your group in light. And the egg shines like a newborn star.
Well, this is some freaky shit.
Don't like that. Okay.
I want to go home.
Yeah, I want to see the sun again. So, which way is the egg pointing?
Seems to continue upwards.
I think we
It's
just
like
have to go to the bottom of that huge ass willow tree.
Ah, yeah. All right, let's go.
The parting canopy reveals a procession of thousands in your wake. Great clouds of wisps slowly drift behind you in chorus, trailing all the way back out of sight. take.
Deep breath. Usa.
And Sirenscape crashed. Great.
Hey, calm down. It's fine.
Yep. Enjoying the dramaticism. It's too bright. Have to squint my eyes.
Me no like.
It's bad. I mean, isn't moonlight technically sunlight?
Look, if you want to
Yes.
get technical like that, he'll never be able to see again.
Technically, yes, but you are talking about a reflection of light. Then.
All right. I think we're back in action.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, the recording's all right and stuff.
Seems to be the case.
Nice. Stream's going.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So behind the looks like behind you, herds of spectral animals follow in reverence. The forest in its entirety has joined this procession. They sing a chorus that's difficult to understand with the words, but to some of you it strikes you emotionally. The chorus sings of rebirth and renewal, reincarnation and transformation, of a new dawn, and those newly born, a second chance, if it were. A meadow filled with the same deep blue flowers you've been following throughout your journey here. In the centre of this glade, a couple hundred feet away, you see the gargantuan roots of the willow. The natural patterns of the flowers and roots form what looks like a spiral, pattern which continues up the willow's bark, up into its canopy. And a great glowing heart sits at the trunk's apex.
Let me just scroll my ass out. Here we go.
You see, hanging from the canopy are thousands of small vines. Tipped upon each of them are small glowing cocoons. You can see some of them open, giving birth to new wisps. Some wisps float to the ground, becoming spectral animals which bound off into the forest. This indeed may be the heart of this forest.
Well, it seems we found the place the egg wants to go.
We're gonna have to go up, aren't we?
I hope not.
Looks at egg.
Well,
You got something to say, bitch?
It's
Well-
just a baby. Why are you so angry?
it doesn't seem to be pointing upwards. Seems to be pointing towards the tree. And as you follow the glow, you see glowing in the twilight of the forest at the base of this tree. You see some sort of shrine. A number of look like tall slabs of rock that seem to have been carved with a number of runic inscriptions and nestled into a large hollow nook between a series of massive roots. These 20-foot tall slabs form a semicircular shape approximately 100 feet in diameter. It's almost Stonehenge-like in its construction, and nature has grown over them with time. There's approximately 8 of them, and it's clear they've been here for many, many, many years. Within the centre of this semicircle of upright slabs is an enormous, imperfect mound of earth, about 20 feet high and 80 feet in diameter, overgrown with glistening flowers and vines. A series of stones have been arranged around its base.
Well, seems this might be its resting place.
I'm gonna call out for Vadmir and Tora.
You call out and wait for a moment. A minute goes by without an answer.
Shit. There's a good chance that back when we're, back in the cave. You're still there.
Here's my worry. The prophet says we've added in some other person with the egg. Do we leave this here? Without without that process? Hoping that we'll find our way back, or do we hold on to this?
Well,
It seems like nature wanted us to put it here, right?
This is a
Well,
whole
it
other
wants to be
place,
here.
so maybe. Jenner,
Mhm.
the arrangement of things, does it seem like it's like a spot pedestal or a groove?
Is that big mountain?
Nothing that you can see beyond the tall 20-foot tall stone slabs and the enormous overgrown mound of dirt centered within this kind of a semicircle arrangement.
Dirt would be where to put it, most likely. Sorry, go on.
plant it like a seed.
How about plant
Like
it?
a buried egg in a nest.
Well, the egg, for what it is, wants to be here. I'm curious about. And you said that it's not. It's just pointing towards the center of the tree, not up or down.
Seems to be more of a general direction towards, best you can tell, seems to be the shrine.
Well, this is pretty far off from back where we were, and whatever brought us here, probably wanted it for this reason. So, I say we leave it here. And at least if we need to come back for it or summit, we can figure out how the hell to get back here.
Just fall asleep in the middle of those standing stones.
Maybe.
Alright. I'll have to put the egg with the shrine.
Okay.
Explosion.
Hiroshi.
Hiroshi.
You begin to approach. You begin to approach the enormous, gargantuan base of this tremendous willow tree. Sayun and Velen, you both noticed that. What I sent you.
I'm reading it. I'm just being wary of that. I think Liska's still carrying the egg at this point because I want to look at direction. So I'm just
Okay.
keeping close to Liska at the moment. Sort of a bit in
I
front.
thought you had the egg.
I think it switched hands. I don't remember. It was implied that Liska had it. I don't know why.
I think
It's-
Audra has it now.
Okay,
I
I
don't
do
know
have.
if I don't know if
Either
that
way.
changes the information you have, but I
Nope,
think
doesn't
Audra has
change
it.
the information. Just sticking close to whoever has the egg, a little bit in front, and keeping an eye on the phenomena occurring.
Mhm. Okay.
What's are your the spirits? They're freaking you out.
No, just being careful.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, you're sounding
I'm
more
just-
nervous than I am.
I'm just gonna go ahead and set this at this little altar here.
You have to kind of, you have to kind of, you're sticking it on the mound or in front of it or whereabouts.
I could probably put it at the top of the mound.
Just mush it in the dirt.
Okay. You
Use
kind of have
my
to,
fucking into my staff. I'm gonna scoop a little spot for it to be.
yeah. You climb up the top of the mound, bit by bit. Use your staff, kind of hollow out a small hole in the dirt. Kind of place it within the top of the mound there.
Pick a little dirt over top of it. Nah, that's fine.
Little dirt on top.
Well, guess that's that done. As nice as this place is, I really want to go find out what happened to the other two, and if we can even get back to where the hell we were. So I'm going to sort of start heading back the way they came.
Okay.
Seeing if anything is different with the spectral animals and the wisps.
You can see the ways off. You can see the spectral animals themselves seem to have. Oh, everything's disconnected.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, it's still there. You can see a ways off in the rim of the edge of the forest. The spectral animals are just seemingly watching.
Alright, come on everyone.
20, 26. Oof.
Examining and taking notes on all this
Yeah.
magical bullshit.
You do see, particularly because of your comprehend languages, the various runes carved into the enormous slabs are sylvan. They speak of some sort of it speaks of like a powerful enchantment of some sort of healing ritual, if it were.
Powerful enchantment and a healing ritual. Alright, well. Kind
You
of
coming,
looking
Aja?
around at all the different stones and things that are laid out here. Oh, I see what's going on.
Hang about. Aja, back up.
What?
Back up now. He sort of moved. As Velen was sort of starting to move away, he's turned. He's like about face from glancing back to see what was taking people so long, and now he's just sort of moving in front, eyes fixed on the mound.
Oh, okay.
I am observing the mound, Janner.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do some healing here from what I've read.
Something's moving.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and step down there and he just kind of tumble down as he almost falls.
You stumble and then kind of slide down the mound about 20 feet before you kind of hit the ground in a very uncomfortable way.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on. Gonna help him up. Get him out.
Okay. Thanks. I'm not good at this. I'm not trained in athletics.
Eyes are on the mound. Just all times. Seeing for other signs of movement.
As Velum sort of seems to point this out, Sayun, you would also see this. You can see, poking through the mound, are a number of crystal formations. Reflective glimmer here, small refraction there beneath the dirt and the overgrown mass. Then the mound stirs softly. This enormous 80-foot diameter mound, 20 feet high, the entire thing seems to shift.
Thought so.
Does it shift dangerously enough to endanger the egg?
No. In fact, the egg itself seems to shine brightly and raises out from beneath the dirt.
Okay, gonna observe for the moment, but I still have my readied action going.
An action for what? What are you
whispered.
trying to do?
I'm readying an action.
What
Okay.
are you reading the action to do?
Yeah, now I don't need to whisper it. Basically, if anything's gonna happen that would endanger egg, snatch egg, so it doesn't go splat. For now,
You're
just
gonna have to climb 20-foot mound and run 80 feet, or are you on the mound?
basically next to the mound, but I see your point. Either way, continuing on with the observation.
There's a deep rumbling that vibrates through the earth. And once again, the huge mound seems to shift, slowly, softly. Not in a violent way. Earth cascades down the mound's side, revealing something beneath it. Something enormous and crystalline in nature. The entire mound shifts in place. Vines strain and snap against something from within. Great patches of flowers are uprooted. And you witness, unfurling from beneath the deluge of earth is a tremendous draconic wing of the purest blue crystal that stretches out 70 feet long. The vestigial fingers clasp into the ruptured earth, pulls and pushes. You see brilliantly reflective crystal scales, the immense form of a long serpentine body. And as the earth and foliage clears, a long, draconic head possessing a proud and majestic frill of crystal spines. Stirred and reawakened from a long slumber, the massive form of who you can only assume to be Astria, the crystal dragon.
Fucking called it.
Fancy.
Yep.
Yep. Still spooked though. It's a heckin' dragon.
I wasn't sure if I should say anything about this idea when I first had it in my head, but I was just like, it has to be, right? It has to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's head into the nest, the burial mound.
Is this necromancy?
Is this heresy?
Technically, yes.
Her immense body is probably a few hundred feet long, as it seems to uncoil from around itself, Her wings unfurl and stretch out to their full 200-foot wingspan.
That's a big mama.
Oh shit.
Even though you see she is seemingly weakened and tired, seems unable to stand to her full height. Even still, the sight of this colossal, primordial dragon is somewhat frightening, magnificent, and awe-inspiring sight all in one. There's a moment of pause, her eyes shining bright with a prismatic shimmer. Look upon you all curiously, expectantly.
We gather who the fuck this is, though, right? From like all the stories and the fancy.
He just said if we could tell it was Astrid.
It cut
Unless
out.
you were deliberately role-playing being stupid.
I am
From
not.
the-
I just
From the various depictions you've seen of her, this indeed seems to be Astria. Especially you, Soyun. You've seen depictions of this creature in various myths, creation myths, particularly individuals of a mystic nature, those who read the stars in your society.
Well, with that note in mind, not the stuff Salva, that's her. Vellum does visibly, like, he was tensed before, but then the realization hits and he does relax a little bit and then give a small, sort of respectful head bow. Let's see how it responds, if at all. I say
The
it
immen-
like a person, how dare I?
The immense form of the dragon also seems to respond in kind. You can just the distortion of air as it moves its form.
Vellum's
then-
trying to maintain his nerves because, you know, imposing huge dragon.
Yeah, you've seen depictions of ancient dragons before. Astria is probably 4 times as large.
There's a whole other thing seeing in person. I mean, we dealt with Crothus, but this is quite
Yeah,
up.
we thought Crothus was big.
And he was just a scion.
There's also a moment as she seems to regard the egg floating before her. Her head lowers, brushing an affectionate cheek against the egg as it floats in place. Her head alone is about twice as long as Liska is tall.
Oof.
And you hear a deep, rumbling draconic purr.
Yes.
Hello? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we could hear you. Just you could hear us.
Okay.
You ragged breaths.
Yeah, there's ragged breaths, and looking up at her eyes this close up is like it's like staring into a mirror of cosmic night. And through her eyes alone, you sense all of you sense, deep within your very soul, immeasurable gratitude, but also sorrow.
God, they're full of stars. Can I? I know this is probably an impossible task given the nature of this meeting. Can I try and glean from where the sorrow draws?
The horrible stuff we heard about in the prophecy.
Probably.
Make an insight check.
You know what happens if you assume.
15. It is difficult to tell. This creature is transcendent beyond any understanding, any mortal understanding of yours.
But you mentioned ragged breaths. There was a struggle to sort of move properly. Yes.
It seemed that way. With your passive insights, you'll be able to glean this, no problem.
Yeah, because there was the motion, the breath.
Yeah.
Gonna sort of turn a little bit to Aju, who's presumably still right there.
Yep.
Don't know if it'd even help, but see if you can do anything.
Oh, gee. It's like I was going to do something before you told me to get off the mound. It's like I can read that writing on the wall.
And how was I supposed to? Look, not the time. Just see what you can do. And then he's going to sort of move back a little bit, give Archer space.
I'm just joking with you. It's okay, bud. Oh, I have to climb back up the mound.
There is no mount. She was the mount.
Yeah.
There's still the leftover dirt.
She's right in front of us.
I yeet Audra over the dirt.
There's, if you could sense a brow raise from this enormous creature, you would definitely be able to sense it, Arja, as you cautiously approach. The bright light from this dragon is almost blinding to you.
I've seen bright. Okay, so. Oh. Here comes the spicy hand.
Slowly
hold out.
And the dragon attacks.
as you kind of hold up this divine magic in your hands, there's a moment where she seems to tilt her head and then seems to acquiesce. Astria turns her long neck to the side, revealing a large black stain upon a ruined patch of scales. A long series of puncture wounds and drag marks through the flesh that have turned the crystal a necrotic black and green. A deep wound, possibly as large as you are, Arja. A deep wound, both what you can surmise to be both physical and magical, that looks as though it may have been the result of a powerful entity. A wound that has been festering and worsening for many, many years.
Hey, let's just add one more of those on you, make this better. That's 25 healing. It's not great.
25. You gently place your hand against her scales, which are kind of warm to your touch. And you pulse slowly a divine, this divine tether of divine magic into her scales. There seems to be a moment where the wound recedes, but it's not enough.
We're gonna be here for just one moment. And I'm gonna go ahead and run back and shot for a second. I'm gonna be dry for about an hour, is that okay?
as you look upon this,
You do you, boo.
So casual.
I think Aja broke Ducky. There's you continue to pulse one after the other, divine healing into this equally divine entity, but of perhaps a different divinity. And it's at that point that you consider that this wound may have been dealt by a powerful entity. That perhaps even at your skill set, it may be beyond your skill set. Though it does seem to be slowing the spread of this wound.
Okay. I know what this is. I don't have that spell. Alright, so, I need greater restoration. Do we have a scroll of that?
Let's
No.
go check her scrolls for all that healing that she has.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Doesn't Tora have something like that?
Yeah, it'd be great if she was here.
I'm gonna look up to Astrid like, hey, looking beautiful. How you doing? No, hey. Do you happen to know where tiny demon girl about yay big and tiny Tora woman, dwarf woman about this big, like same height? Like they were like with us before we came here. Do you happen to know where they might be? I imagine this is your realm.
There's a momentary pause, and you hear words. All of you hear words. Subconsciously, they bring comfort, warmth, like a wizened elderly family member you've known all of your life. The voice is aged and slightly husky, and clearly this is Astria's voice, which comes to you despite no movement in her draconic features.
This is not my realm. I merely came here for refuge. Your allies are back within the grove, along with the rest of you.
Oh, that makes things awkward.
Is it like a dream?
This place, the Eventide Vale. It is said it is connected to many dreams.
Do we need to head back to wake up? How do we even?
Do we need to bring our cleric friend to help you? Like knock her out or something so she wakes up here?
She pauses for a moment, and again there's that sorrow, but this time you hear it in her voice.
I'm afraid that no magic can undo what has been done to me. But I appreciate the kind gesture.
The enormous head looms down and nods towards Arja.
Jet.
My question
I
is,
Oh, go ahead.
And I tried as he walks back over to his friends.
go on, Jin.
I've brought all of you here to me. Through the darkness you have wandered, and through fire you have passed to return the Scion to my side. You are but mere mortals, yet your bravery in the face of nightmares is a virtue that towers above all others. You have my eternal gratitude.
Well, can't speak for everyone, but I'll be honest in saying that we didn't even know what we were doing. Getting the egg back seemed like the right thing to do, but bringing it here was a total fluke. I don't really feel deserving of that credit.
I'll take the compliment. You're welcome.
You sense a slight crack of a smile in her voice.
I wish to know the names and stories of the mortals that delivered my Scion to me. Please.
Well, I am Liska Alma, Centurion of Ragnarok, of the Dominion of Torment. As of now, mercenary, bounty hunter, and member of the Hunter's Keep. Mountain folk, in case that's not obvious. I don't know if we were around when you were originally around, so that's a thing. And yeah, that's me. That's my story. I protect people and hit shit.
To protect others is an admirable trait. And what of you?
The enormous head travels towards Aja.
I'm in Najur. Inquisitive. I'm a farmer turned priest, and a priest turned, well, I suppose, pilgrim. I'm trying to right some things, and it seems that you have fallen along my path. So hopefully this is right by you, as he gestures up to the egg. Or it is what God wills.
There's a momentary pause and a tilt of the head. She seems to regard a slight uncomfortableness in Aja's tone.
I'd imagine why.
The head turns towards Vellum.
And you?
Thumb's demeanor shifts a bit, given that this is like a proper... The proper behavior is necessary in dictating. He once more gives a small bow, like, the usual sort where it's like one arm to opposite shoulder and then bow, that sort of deal. Does that with a slow bow. Fellow Marbridge, I come from the east of the surface, where the sun glistens across the sands. I follow the way of Alsham, and I am a craftsman of the forge.
That you have brought, along with the rest of you, the scion to me, tells me you are a man of simple pleasures. That does good for the simplicity of it.
I do what feels right, and whether that's seen as good or not, it's up for other people to say.
She regards you, turns her head towards Sao Yun.
I can tell from the contraption on your back that you are of creative mind.
Well, yes. I am Sayu, daughter of... You can tell there's a visible sort of pause from her. Yeah, I'll do that part later. I am what people mainly refer to as an artificer. I make contraptions and curious things that may seem like magic at first, but may not always be magic.
She nods towards you. The head looms down towards Grunka.
And you, small one, what is your name?
I am Grunka. No last name yet. Son of Mi'kmaq and Snaggletooth, and a server of Incendious, and the current flame soul of my generation. Yes. And this is where we... It's a good one.
She seems to... There seems to be the slightest... The hint of approval from the companionship you possess with Webby. There's a... You can tell it in her voice. There's, along with the betrayal of a smile in her voice, she says,
I sense you hold much power within you, yet can control it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
where's my notes here? There we go.
The dragon says.
I'm
sure I wrote something down.
She looks to all of you.
Tell me, what are the events that led you to this point? What have you seen? What have you learned?
Well, war, prophecy, friendship, you know, the usual.
Sorry.
I think probably that there's something else. I don't really know what that big thing behind the crystals that was really angry. But it's just something out there.
I feel like that's probably the asshole that created the dragon that did that. And this guy points to the wounds.
Yeah, maybe.
Given what he did with Morteth.
Noctis.
You can sense the sorrow in her voice. Once more, the head dips, and she seems to think to herself for a moment.
You speak of Umbris. A powerful mortal indeed. One who serves a greater purpose. Of that purpose I know not. But it required my slaves. Umbris could not do so by himself. So indeed he turned the creature I so dearly loved against me.
Astia once again turns her head. You all see now clearly the massive wound upon her neck.
What was once my mate is now naught but a monster. He wounded me long ago, both in body and soul.
Let's think it was just pretty bad.
Wow.
Wow.
Shit.
I mean, not wrong, but time and place.
You ask what we've learned in our journey, and all too clearly with your story, it's that people are willing to go very far, do horrible things to get what they want.
But in the same breath, there are people willing to do a lot of the good reasons. All the right one.
Indeed. For this is why I brought you here. My light and my power has faded ever since. I have since found refuge here, away from the gaze of those who would do anything, especially the mortal who turned my consort against me. He who would do anything to finish what he started. The spirits made this shrine in the heart of this forest to aid my healing. It slowed my condition as I slumbered to preserve what little strength I had left until this day.
Out of character,
Mm-hmm.
am I guessing the connotation of that statement correctly in that she expects to expire very soon?
Oh, she's gonna die right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to be sure of before I go leaping in spiel.
You speak of this individual, Umbris. Where have you seen him?
In a giant mirror-like surface that is about yay high, and so sort of gestures to her, and we killed a beholder who served him, and then he promptly resurrected said beholder into pure undeafness, basically.
It seems
And
he
then he
sought.
got very, very angry at us.
It seems he sought some form of knowledge of a location, likely either of where you were or something of importance enough that he enlisted such a thing.
Then he searches. He searches still. But he need not search for me any longer. My time is short. This is why I pierce the veil, to give my seeker refuge, so that she may find you. That you might find the siren with her aid, and return it to me.
Sorry for silence, I'm just trying to put the words together in my brain. Oof. At the notion that she has just expressed about her exploration, Vellum is going to step forward a bit more. A more solemn sort of body language at play. And is she like stood on the ground? Is she like floating? What's the deal?
She's sort of halfway out of the mound, sort of head just barely raised above the ground, and she's half laying, half attempting to stand.
Okay.
Sort of a head level with all of you.
Okay, that's the important point because Belle's going to sort of put a hand very, very gently against likely her head at this point because it is the most immediate point of contact. I'm sorry that your last moments may be filled with such uncertainty. I will pray for you, but know if there's anything that can be done to ease your passing, then I will do what I can to see it happen. No one deserves to leave this life with regret.
The eyes close. There's a sigh of relief, then a look of appreciation, both towards Vellum and Aja, who attempted to heal her earlier.
Even now, I feel the eternal dream beckoning. As grim as it may be, fate has woven its threads. And so I offer you, mortals, my faith and my trust.
The eyes, pitted deep with starlight, gesture towards the egg.
I sense even now that the Scion has put her faith and trust in you. She is bonded. You, who are among the small few, that she will trust innately.
Sao is just looking to the rest of the party for a moment and back to the egg. Well, I guess there is providence in this world after all.
Well, is it going to be hatching soon?
There's a moment of quiet. Should I find my notes?
It's okay, it's a big moment.
She responds with,
No. But the scion must grow. You will know when the time comes. So long as you give her the essence of the cosmic fabric. Magic.
Can you say that last bit again, Jamie? As long as we do what?
she said, give to her the essence of the cosmic fabric. Magic.
Lament.
I understand some within you have the capability to do so. And should you take up this mantle, you will know when the time comes, and you will be ready. But that you have risked your lives for her safety proves to me that you are worthy of that trust. In my stead, I offer you royal guardianship over the silent. It is an immeasurable responsibility, to be sure. If you decline, I am certain that others will take up the mantle.
I promised to do what I could to ease your passing. Again, I cannot speak for the companions, but with that promise in mind, I accept. And just as a side note, his hand's still been like in the same place. His attention has been very much on her this entire time.
The glistening starlit eyes gaze upon the rest of you.
Will we have to take the egg, or can we just leave it here until it's time?
Here is not safe. If Umbris searches for me, she shall find this grove, and the egg along with it.
Well, I don't quite know how we would protect it. There's no place that we can put it that would offer anything like short of stashing it in the Dominion of Torment. I don't really see what else that we can do.
To find
There may be one place. Seek the Forgotten City in the Auroran Valley in Iosha. There you shall find a nursery. Take the scion there.
Can I get that again, just for my notes, Jenner? I
Yep.
want to get the details.
I will. I'll just copy paste what she said in the chat.
Thank you kindly.
That moment when your GM has a script.
I mean, it helps.
I mean, if you're gonna have like these big, like scenic moments, I have like an IGM. I usually have scripts too, or just like notes.
Yeah, but this just speaks to me to the level of work Janner puts in.
And until then, it's like finding a bead of glass in the shifting sands. A lot harder thing to do.
Astria nods her head.
I understand the burden this may put on you should you accept. But death need not be the end. And even in death I shall attempt to improve you.
I may not have powers or abilities like yours, but as someone who recently died and was brought back, I believe you on that part. No one ever truly dies. Not really.
It is merely part of a new chapter.
Well, I guess if it's not safe and you have a place for us to take it, then sure, I'll deliver it there.
Astria nods.
I must tell you, with this responsibility comes oaths taken. To keep her hidden and safe. As there are those of ill repute who would seek to use her for their own ends. Keep her from corruption. As should she fall to malice and hatred, the ley lines around her shall follow the same path, and life will wither in her wake. She must be ready and prepared for the events soon to come, mortals. Teach her, nurture her as you would your own. For I see tremendous potential within all of you. Liska Alrun, I would ask of you, please, teach her the virtues of discipline. Become an example of how one can use their strength to protect the innocent.
Liska nods.
The enormous head looks over to both Velen and Aja.
I sense there was once conflict between you. But through greater conflict against a common foe, have you learned to grow past your differences and find common purpose? I would ask both of you, teach her the strengths of faith. Teach her that through cooperation, many things can indeed be accomplished, many great things.
teach her what it means to be faithful.
I mean, faith as in right? Or faith as in,
Was that directed towards Arja, or
No, it was dragon. That's true.
she looks down towards Grunker and says,
Religion need not be a part of it, but faith in doing what's right. And even sometimes a leap of faith is necessary.
She will be taught of belief, whether it be in an ideal, a being, or herself.
she gives a reassured nod. The massive head turns over towards Sayun.
Sayun Greymind, you have learned to adapt and overcome the challenges of the world with creativity and ingenuity. Teach her how to channel this creativity towards the benefit of others.
I will try. No promises, it won't be a bit unorthodox.
Astria gives a nod. Turns towards Grunker.
Grunker,
Yeah.
you hold a great power within you. In more ways than one. Against all odds, you control it. As you control your power, teach her to control hers. And that is what I ask of you.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Best. What what kind of power is this supposed to be? Like, I don't really know what dragon's powers are, but I guess I'll see.
You will learn in time.
Okay.
As she grows, we will all know what she is capable of. She will be capable of great things. But when, in the times to come, she will need all of you more than you need her. She will not be able to succeed without you. Are there questions you wish to ask?
I have one thing. Is there anything you would like us to tell the Scion once it hatches?
Just reassure her that you will be there for her, as will I.
There's a bittersweet smile on Sal's lips. It's just nods.
There's a moment where she seems to she seems to slump further onto the ground. The ragged breaths are very apparent now.
Will stay as he was, attempting to anyway, given the size of her.
I do have a question. How do we
head.
get back?
As you do with all dreams.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about Inception. Like, what, fall into water? Like, what's like... Okay. Let's go. We'll take that information and think on it.
There's some more trembling in Astria's front legs. There's a wince in her eyes. She rests her body and chin on the ground. You can see that tangled veins of darkness have spread to the side of her face, up from the great wound in her neck, and blood flows anew, crystallizing in pools on the luminescent grass.
Eternal sleep comes for me. With my final breath, I give you my blessing. Care for her. For the Scion will need your guidance in the time ahead.
Her breath grows strained and her condition seems to deteriorate. You begin to see her scales flaking into embers of light.
As she shall call you her guardians, you may call her by her true name.
Slowly, from tail tip to snout, her body begins to turn to clouds of white embers, like a fire burning through a tree. Her eyes close as her last sleep comes for her. And you hear one name whispered.
Oria.
Her body melts into a tremendous cloud of small wisps of light that slowly drift and scatter into the breeze, leaving behind a crystalline afterimage of her imprint within the ground. The final memorial and resting place of the crystal dragon. As the embers dissipate, where once may have been a beating heart, is now a singular, bright mote of starlight, the last remnant of Astria. And it descends towards the egg. As it meets with the egg's surface, and both become one. It's drawn into the egg. The egg pulses alight with a renewed life. Do you sense a new awakening? A rebirth? Much as a phoenix rises from its ashes. This is the nature of the Eventide Vale.
during the course of this final transition, Vellum has had his hand against his head in a very gentle, reassuring way until there is obviously no more surface to put against, having taken a knee at that due to the shift in the body. As you ask, and you will be remembered as you were. And then he's going to mumble a prayer in. Sorry, pop my back in here. And mumble a prayer in Kitesh. And he will take a moment to just sort of A, process, and B, honor the memory.
A lot more than just getting the princess back.
Well, as my father would say it sometimes, when dealing with life, you must account for providence, even if you do not. Guess this is what he meant.
Well, we have been given a task with a dying wish by a creature that was around far before any of us.
Pretty sure you're the oldest one here amongst us. Well, right.
That thing predated time.
And we witnessed its passing.
One of a kind. I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us when I say that we need a moment to take this in.
I have a question, Jim.
Mhm.
Are the pools of crystal that formed from her blood still there?
They are.
Weska is going to go over, take her knife, and chip off, like, I don't know, like a palm-sized chunk of it.
Okay.
She's going to stash it away.
So mark off 1 pound of laystone.
A little desecratey, but cool.
I'm tempted to take some
Like,
as well.
she's, I mean, out of
I'm not
character.
questioning the character.
She's,
just
like, she's doing it in memoriam.
yeah, I know. But the moment I heard Laystone, I was just like, I want to take this just to get to know what effects it has, but I'm just like, from a character point of view, I'm just like, no.
She wouldn't know.
just,
Yeah. It's Gronk.
Sure.
He also wants to kill me.
Why am I now reminded of, that mole person from the Atlantis animated movie? That's basically Grunker with, the dirt collection.
well, eventually, Vellum is gonna stop taking a knee from where he was, dust himself off a little bit, and then turn to everyone. When you're all ready, let's go. And then he will sort of move away from the memorial site, as it were, and to a less somber area. There is definitely a sort of, not a facade, but a mask of solemnness in his features.
So you're kind of taking this in, making your way away from the willow, step after step after step. It grows heavy after a while. It's then that you all stir and open your eyes to pitch darkness and the smell of stale, mildew-filled air. Aja, you stir as if having snapped out of a vivid daydream.
That must be a new experience for him.
So this is what sleep is like. I don't like it.
I haven't done this in years. I hate this.
I haven't done that since my college days.
Instead of being greeted with the softness of luminescent grass beneath your hooves and feet, it's instead a hard, cold stone.
Fucking knew this would happen.
It is a very surreal experience for Velen, given that he's woken up in the same position twice now, and when he went to sleep in this spot, there was this beautiful, almost crystalline waterfall in front of him, but then opening his eyes to see nothing more than a pile of rocks and a gully. It is rather jarring.
The entire grove seems to have gone. No longer is it a dreamlike forest of blues and deep greens, but instead an enormous, empty and hollow cave. The tall obelisks of crystal nearby the rest of your group still jut from the ground nearby, but they are dull and lifeless. The only beacon of light in the dark is that shed from a single, lonely crystal egg.
Grook is going to look in his bag. He's going to see if the fruit's still there.
It seems to be still. It's they don't seem to be there. No.
Ram's gonna sort of slowly approach the
Seeds
egg.
are gone as well.
Sorry.
The seeds appear to be gone.
No. So much for tiny, eventide plants in the wagon. Anyway, Velen's gonna very slowly approach the egg, and with the most careful hands possible, stow it away in the bag of holding.
So you take the egg. There's a what you can only describe as a moment of deep connection. You sense fear, loneliness, and sorrow.
Well, that changes a bit of what he does next. He will, out of a strange sort of reflex, just sort of pull it close a little bit, reassuring it. Whether or not it shifts the mood of the egg or not.
The moods
In the bag it
seem
goes.
the emotions seem to shift to definitely less fearful.
In the bag.
And see Tora and Vardnia have both stirred awake. Or rather, you've not seen Vardnia awaken. She's just awake. She's just seems like she's been awake for quite some time. And you can see she's clutching the front of her vest, and there's a look of deep sorrow on her face. You see tears down the side of her cheek.
With no words, because
No words.
I feel like, dang it, I keep cutting people off, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I see a gap and I go for it because the character emotion is strong. Since it's clear why this sadness. He just steps over, takes a knee, arms out.
And she just falls into your arms and just sobs on your shoulder. She seems to know what's happened. Just seemingly an innate feeling.
No words, only emotion.
Tora looks at this and senses the somber atmosphere and just remains quiet.
And he will be like that for as long as she needs.
So this happened.
It's happened.
What happened, if I might ask? I don't mean to intrude, but given the atmosphere,
We'll tell you when it's a little less raw.
We'll tell you on the way.
No,
Tora
he
nods.
deserves to know.
Yeah, on the way.
You should.
Yeah, on the way. We still have quite a way to go.
Short story of what happened is, well, it's sad to say we didn't get to see it, but we saw a passing of, I guess the best word would be an era. We'll explain better later on.
Tora just nods.
Veronic's right about one thing. It's a long walk. Can't get a
You
break.
take the egg
Can't
out.
pick Vardmy up. Guess we'll start moving. And hopefully somebody can get poor Aja out of that hole.
Liska will reach into Velem's bag and pull out the egg.
You take out the egg. The glow is comparatively dimmer than what you previously saw.
And Liska is going to, since Velem is, I guess, carrying Vadma, like princess style, Liska will put the egg in Vadma's hands. Take care of it. You both need someone right now.
Mia just looks wide-eyed at the egg, and kind of tear-stained eyes looks up at you, Liska, and just holds it close. She kind of takes the shawl off of her shoulders, kind of bundles it up.
All right, let's go.
Agreed.
Okay. Beginning to make your way out of this cave. You sense where you once sensed this sort of a resonant kind of distortion in the air from particularly where you previously came in, Liska. It is just a barren, ordinary tunnel into a large chasm. There is nothing left here but dust and echoes, as it were.
That was me sighing, not Valen. Fuck. The feels, man. You're killing me.
Yeah.
So, as you've some different music here.
Velen is going to keep carrying Vladimir for a good while, by the way, because A, she was not in a great state when we rescued her, but now she's also sad. That takes a lot out of you.
Let's go over to the map, shall we? Eagle map. Where are you? There you
the biggest of maps.
Okay. Making your way through the cave. Eventually, you come upon the shattered waystone here, an intersection in the cave.
Fuck, it's been so long I don't remember which way to go.
I'm looking for Vadimir's map right
Don't
now.
worry, I got it.
That's true. Yeah, we have
We have a Grunka.
the Outrider.
We have a
as well.
Grunka and on Azure.
I wonder if you know the name was we have a map.
Yeah, we also have an actual map.
Yep.
Right.
It should be under just maps.
Oh, there's just 8 maps.
Yeah, it's just a maps folder.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Max.
I was looking at notes, letters, and shit. But 8.
It wouldn't have made sense in character. He wouldn't have like dropped current priorities just to fiddle with some crystals.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there you are.
So just to keep this brief, using the map, you would it depends which way you're trying to go. Back to the main central cave, or just out.
I think out to return to
Okay.
home.
So you begin to make your way. Tora says, "Where's Ilara?"
She stayed up top and decided to head back. This was out of her scope.
Chances are she's probably back already, but we can double check. But yeah, out of character, did she say what her plans were besides just waiting? Because I don't know if she's gonna head back up.
Yeah, she decided to go back to the city.
Okay.
Well, I
For
think
reinforcements, right?
I don't think that was the plan. I think what she said she'd be waiting for Tora to come back out of the ziggurat.
Well, we were around that area when we teleported, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a confusion on both parties' side now.
Yeah. I think
Because we would have looked for her otherwise if we didn't know she was gonna wait around.
no one really brought it up, so I figured, well, get to it at a different time. That's all.
Okay, it's fine.
We can either sort of. Nah, retconning wouldn't make sense. We can just swing by and
Okay.
grab her on the way through, I guess.
Yeah,
let's
we don't
find
have to
all the
RP
missing-
all the travel.
Yeah, let's find all the missing party members, all the people that need to come with us to go up. And then let's
Yep,
say we did that and
Give him, grab him, and go.
yeah, we have people that can send message, right? Clerics or others.
I don't know
Both.
You
if
scream really loud.
True.
Do Divine Soul Warlocks actually get sending?
Message or sending, I think just warlocks in general. Get either or.
I don't think Tora even has any of those prepped.
It's fine. We could take some time to take it deep.
Okay.
We need to
I
get.
mean, we did just have a rest, so she could technically have it prepped, but potato.
Tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. So, yeah, just swing by, grab her, head on to the exit.
Okay. So just to keep this brief, Tora just kind of says, last I saw her, she may have been in the center of the main cave. But swing by there, grab her. Let's get out of this hellhole.
Yeah.
I need to see the sun again.
Likewise.
No.
Fuck this
Bang.
up.
I would just like a breath of fresh air. Sun, moon, cloudy sky, whatever.
We're definitely taking a vacation on this.
Maybe,
Okay,
but we still have, what to do with.
We can wrap all that up when we get it.
Another question.
Yep.
I'm gonna find Pybromancer.
The Empire Feast.
Yeah.
Well. First, as you're making your way through the caves back to the main central cinder den here, you'll occasionally see small patrols of Arrakis warriors in the process of searching for stragglers. It seems they've conquered a fair bit of territory thanks to the waystones they've captured. It seems that while the main battle, the siege, was taking place in the cinder den here, a smaller battle of attrition was occurring within these tunnels. And you see corpses of deep dwarves and Arrakis will kind of litter the ground in places, locations where fights have occurred. It seems as though both sides took heavy losses.
As one would expect from war.
Oh yes. You're trying to find Danon, yeah?
Yeah, like just okay. I am planning to ask, and if anyone remembers this, just fill me in, but the deep dwarves were going to be coming with us as we're moving out, like we want to get away from this place, right? Like they were going to come to the surface under the aspect of peace.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go to find the new king.
Migrate across the sea.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, they're going to your little. Gotcha.
So, speaking on that, as you kind of venture through the camp out into the cinder den here, you can see enormous crowds of deep dwarves that have gathered, those left alive. You hear discussions in anger, frustration, hear protests of "Let us go! We weren't in our right minds!" As yells of "Faradol was our only true king! The Ashbite lineage lives on!" And arguments are developing between the Deep Dwarfs themselves. Some are scavenging what armaments they can before being quickly stopped by the armoured Deeplings guarding the crowds.
I think maybe they got their own problems.
You can also see a separate, smaller crowd of Deep Dwarfs that seem to have separated from the main crowd, being led by a number of them in fiery crimson and gold robes. They're surrounded by. They're all surrounding a pile of rubble, and looking around this, there you see, stood atop it, you see both Dainin and Fliz. Dainin seems to be in the middle of a speech, and every so often you'll see a Deep Dwarf from the larger crowd separate to join the side surrounding Dainin and Fliz. You can also see off to the side is Ilara and the other two dwarves you met during the assault on the Obsidian Spire, the Mountain Guard and Tara, the priestess. Tora looks up and joins them, and they're all watching this moment in fascination. Tora turns a shoulder over towards the rest of your group and says, "I think we're watching history in the making here."
That seems to be a trend, along with making it.
Yep. A lot of history has been happening.
It's then that you catch you catch the bold declarations of Dainin. He seems to be continuing his speech from earlier. "Aye, brothers and sisters, what I speak is the truth. He once promised us freedom from the tyranny of the Mind Flayers. He kept to that promise only to break it. He sold us back into slavery, back into their claws. Faradol was using you as puppets. He pledged his allegiance to dark forces that lied to him and sought to make a mockery of us as fools, mindless bodies to be thrown onto the swords, so that Mayland itself would drown in our blood." So that Dainin also it seems to take notice of you, particular Liska, dragging that massive, that massive beholder skull that you've been dragging all this time.
Yep.
Briefly, his eyes go wide. He says, and continues his speech. Goes, "That we should hold him and the entirety of the Ashbite lineage in reverence will only cause our downfall. It is time for a new era. Let go of your old hatreds. We must look to the future, where we look at our surface brethren, not as enemies, but as bloodkin. A future where dwarves are united. A future where we are not slaves to monsters and tyrants." And immediately points his finger over towards the skull of the beholder. Half the larger crowd erupts in outrage. Others cheer and join Dane inside. As you all kind of witness this, some of you startled.
Well, Liska is going to kind of step forward, with the giant beholder skull. He speaks the truth. Even now, with what has been negotiated and planned, we leave toward a better place for you. A place where you will be welcomed, and even now, and she motions to Ajer, a place for you to rebuild your homes away from persecution and giving you the freedom to rebuild and delve to your heart's content.
Go ahead and make a... Considering you've got the enormous skull, I'll say...
Intimidation. I'm just kidding.
Just go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
Right.
Spine.
And hopefully this counteracts the -1. Hey, rolled a 19. 18.
18.
Better than that nat 1 that turned into a 0.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah. You can definitely see a fairly large crowd of about 10 or so kind of join over towards Dane's side. It's at that point that you Grunky, you see Fliz kind of pipe up, kind of shouts over the crowd, "Think of a better life for you and your children." Danon acknowledges Fliz and says, "Many of you still hold hatreds of the Goblinkin. But hear our plea. To those of you who hold loyalty to the Flame Keepers, those of you loyal to the deep fires of the world, these deeplings and our clan share a bond. The bond of flame. And it is a bond that calls us to serve a greater purpose. A purpose that extends far beyond species. Many of them also share the same reverence for the flame that warms us when we are cold, the flame around for which we tell stories, the flame that gives our forges life. In that we share common values. In that we can form allegiances." Yeah, slowly looks towards Fliz, places a hand on her shoulder. "From this day, this common sharing of values will henceforth be known as the Pact of the Earth and Flame. And it will lead us into a brighter future. To those of you who wish to leave this underground existence of bloodshed and hatred, we offer you, and he gestures to you, Aja. We offer you this chance at a new life. Leave this place with me, and we will be offered refuge in the Commonwealth." There's an expectant pause as he eyes towards you, Aja.
Alright. Okay.
gonna be like okay, we get this, we get that, and we go out, and he's just gonna skip us over to entering the city. So
I know.
We
Listen,
got
we've been
shit
down
to
here for way too fucking long. I just want to be out.
yeah.
So do I, but you
What a
know,
change of
it's
scenery.
better to get this stuff done now than to fuck about with it later and try and be like, oh
I know.
well, send the best.
Well, this would have happened. We didn't do this.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the taking time, and I mean that's why I brought up like, hey, shouldn't the dwarves be coming with us? Like,
I didn't know they were coming with us. I thought we were just gonna be like envoys, not like the entire populace.
deuces.
I'm back. It cut off literally as I just said, okay. So
Okay.
I had nothing of whatever I just said.
I paused.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
You're like, hello? And I'm like, hello? Am I muted?
Yeah.
Nutty?
What's going on? Okay. So, he speaks the truth. I'm an envoy. A leader coming from the east. In the Carthan Commonwealth. There, our mountains are free from giant spider folk. Free from the mind flayers which slaved you, that your past rulers sold you out to. There are mountains, barely any surface dwarves at all, untapped riches, great space beneath the world. There is home underneath where we live on the surface. There is room for us to expand. The greatest advancements of magic and healing, curatives and power known. We rival far southern colleges of magic. We have industry and greatness, and you could make it greater. A place of your own, under a new king. One who fought to free your mind. One who fought to give you this choice. You don't have to come with us. But that's where we are going. That's where a new fate and a new future, a new alliance holds. You're free now. You can make your own choice. But know now you can choose to follow us. To a better future.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Suppose this would be with Damon's help, because he kind of motioned off to you.
Nice. Hey, baby, let me get that raw check. Boop. There you
Ooh.
go.
1923.
Beyond
Good lord. More deep dwarves leave the larger crowd. Though some aren't enthused regarding what Danon called the Pact of the Earth and Flame, most seem persuaded by your description of this new life. Others seem to go with the Red Road Pirates, seemingly convinced that this newly formed alliance could be a force for good. However,
And they have the choice. They can stay down here and die.
yeah, there are also those that do indeed stay behind, seemingly outraged by Danon's speech. There's protests of traitor and goblin lovers, and others saying you're erasing our heritage. And one more goes, we won't run back to those who have bound us. However, overall, thanks to your persuasion check, both sides now seem fairly evenly sized, whereas the larger crowd was much larger crowd was the loyalist crowd was much larger than the others.
Who are they loyal to? A dead lineage?
Hey, man,
In fact,
North Korea.
One from the loyalist crowd actually steps forward, an aged deep dwarf, balding head, long white beard tied to an tied into an ornate braid that nearly kind of drags across the ground. And from the battered state of his once ornate armor, Liska, you can guess he may have been once some sort of high-ranking official. And he calls out, both directed towards Arja and Danon. You are a traitor to our way of life. You, who've ungratefully dashed aside all that the Ashbite clan sought to do for our people. Did you yet forget? It was Tharadal that united our warring clans under his banner. Did you forget that your clan was one of those who fought alongside him? Now you throw it all away to join goblins and the Commonwealth because of some vacuous notion about divinity and fire. Your clan is beyond saving.
Can Liska walk up and backhand that guy?
I was gonna flex on him, but if Liska's gonna do it, alright. Let's see the human fucking catapult yeet this dude.
Yeah, Liska's gonna walk up and like backhand him while he's gives thing, and
just go ahead. Go ahead and roll attack.
All right. Is it a surprise attack? I'm just kidding.
It should be.
I mean,
Hey, you unflanking.
it's more. I'll say this is being unarmed attack, but considering your
I think this is just a narrative thing.
Yeah.
Unnecessary dice rolls, Jenner.
Sure. Yeah, fine. I'll say just go ahead and roll athletics. Yeah, you're right. It's a narrative thing.
Wait. So don't roll. It's just happening.
Oh, so I'll say just athletics check just to see how hard you backhanded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to take his head off. I just want to
Okay.
basically like shut him the fuck up, like maybe knock him down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Liska
Maybe
knows her
something.
own. Liska knows her own strength.
Okay.
Like she's gonna basically cut him off and just be like, "Your Ashbites brought you into slavery. You had no idea what you're talking about, you old fool.
You
Do
just
you not remember the grasp of the creature that controlled your minds? That you
You
won a war that you would not win?"
with a crack across the back of his head, he kind of stumbles, falls to his knees, and he gets up and almost goes to tackle you, but some of his seemingly loyal followers kind of hold him back for a moment. You stay out of this, devil spawn. This is between us dwarves.
Oh no, it's not between you dwarves.
We have
It's between
killed.
all of us. You see what's on our back? We killed that twice. That was the thing that gave power to your false king that sold you out. His eyes mutated and bloated into one giant purple mess the size of that. Your king sold you out for power. He sold you to this.
And he'll gesture back to his tincture's floating disc with the corpse of fucking the first guy.
Morteth?
Yeah.
That's what we fought with him. We killed it. We saved your damn people, and I'm putting my neck on the line to give the Ashbite clan an entire new home where you won't have to keep fighting these because they still exist. And so do the spider people, and they both want you dead, you fool. You're given a new home and a new opportunity. I'm not fracturing your clan. I'm not infighting that. I'm inviting you. Come show them what it means to be.
He jabs a finger up towards Danon. They have already fractured this clan. The Flamekeeper clan. The clan of traitors.
Then show them what it means to be tradition. Guide them. Don't leave them. They need your wisdom now. There's nothing left to you. There's your traditions, and if you let them go without it, you're leaving your ancestors saddened. You have the power to do something. Be the example they need. Don't let them go into the wilderness in the new future without your people's ways. Guide them.
There is a stern look of how dare this these humans, this different species tell us what we can and can't do, what we should or shouldn't do. Then
In fluent Dwarven, he'll say, "Remember the old ways."
Now you have to do the accent.
I remember the old ways.
Remember the old ways.
Back in my day.
I'm gonna no, hang on.
Aggressive whisper typing.
Yeah.
Your ass bite. Oh.
I'm just gonna say, like, I had something I wanted Sal to say, but I'm just like, you guys are way better than what I could come up with. So
There is a frustrated grief. He jabs a finger over towards the collective of red robed dwarves on the other side, and he just says to his other to the other individuals. He says some more aggressive
Advanced
typing.
typing.
Yeah.
We might be able to sing,
Is this?
unless
Are
you
you?
want to keep it a secret.
Because Liska knows Dwarven, and I'm not getting anything.
You might have sent it to me directly by accident.
As he looks around to the rest of his kin and says, in Dwarvish, hello?
Listening.
Oh, okay. Sorry, connection cut out. To those of you still loyal to the Ashbite name, gather your possessions. Make ready back to Blackforge. We're leaving this place. There's nothing left for us here.
Liska is going to say, in Dwarven. I have seen. Hold on. It has to have the Russian Dwarven accent. That's going to be interesting. Because she speaks in Dwarven with that slight accent. Sorry. Fuck, what? I've seen. Okay.
You don't
I've
necessarily
seen-
have to.
I've seen 2 Ashbite kings fall within a month of this day. Do you really think the Ashbite name is something you should be following? They are dead and gone, buried bones wasting away in the earth. This is an opportunity for those of you that have the courage, and she looks directly at the old guy, to move forward and bring your people to a better place and a better time. No longer restrained by corrupted, twisted, toxic ideals, and instead to have the purity of the Deep Dwarves' name and traditions brought to a place where they will remain unmolested and untainted by the curses that you so proudly bear in the Ashbite name.
gesture toward the big fucking thing on Liska's back.
She's taken it off. She's kind of put it down, so it's like a centerpiece in front of them now.
Okay, there you go.
The individual, the elderly deep dwarf, just looks up towards you, Liska, and says, "There is already such a place. It is called Blackforge. It is where our people have lived for centuries. As you would try to
of madness.
just turns away, just turns away and leaves, with the rest of his apparently loyal followers.
You tried.
This is still gonna call out. Last chance to get a better life. Last chance to live in a world free of fear of you and your children dying.
They're just gathering their things. Seemingly too entrenched in their loyalties and their ideologies.
Give me 1 second.
I want to do something, but it's not the moment.
It's always a moment, Elder Splash.
That's not what I was gonna do,
Tempting as it
but
might
you're right. Kill the enemy leaders. We are taking you.
There is a moment where Aja, yours and Damon's gaze meets, and there's a sigh and a shake of the head from Damon, like as if to say, "You did what you could, and it was noble." And he looks to the rest of his following. You do see sizable amount of individuals who seem to be taking your offer on one half of the crowds here.
So about how many, I guess, would be quote unquote going back?
It's about half and half. Half of the loyalists are gathering their things, readying themselves to go exit in a different, probably exit where they came in.
So like,
And
like rough numbers, like 100, thousands, 10,000. Like how much?
I would say, considering they did suffer quite devastating losses, about 1,000 each.
Okay. They're not gonna survive that colony.
Well, it was their choice to make.
Yep. We offered. We tried to help.
So we now have a group of about 1,000 individuals who, mainly thanks to your persuasion checks, who are now coming back with you.
Alright. Yeah, Damon, can I speak to you for a moment?
Aye.
So, did you invite the goblins to come too?
Well, I imagine they're not from the Surface Kingdom. I imagine they'll probably go back where they came from, but my people
Just around
they're-
here, yeah.
aye, they came in from the Heartfire chamber, if I recall correctly, behind the temple.
Okay. So everything will be fine there. I just, the invite was for you and your people. If you wanted to do kingly things and, start getting some other followers beneath your caste, that's fine. I just wanted to know what I had to plan for. So you said what? 1,000 and a half?
About, let's see, best I could tell, approximately 1,000 people.
Okay. Alright.
They'll probably have to follow us to the surface. We may need to make arrangements beforehand. Maybe come in peace.
Yep.
The usual sort of diplomatic issues.
I'm pretty sure you walking alongside the princess of the nation, being one of the heroes that helped, free her and get her out of this place, would do us some goodwill. I think we are owed a bit of goodwill, and I don't see why they'd try and stop you from leaving. So there's also that.
It seems the other half of our kin have loyalties that transcend all semblance of saints.
All right, well then, another 1,000 will continue to fight a war with the entire nation of the surface dwarves, while also fighting off the mind players, while also fighting off the spider people, while also fighting off the, deep-dwelling goblins. So I'm sure they'll be totally fine.
Some loyalties are self-destructive.
Fanatical even.
Aye.
And Sao just looks to Aja with a slight smirk. It's a joke.
No, you are quite right. Quite right. Okay. I think we're all settled to go to the surface. Do we have to do anything before we march out?
I hope not.
Pack up any leftover things that people want to take.
Oh. We'll talk about this, but is there anything specific you need here? Blueprints, things like that? This one here was interested in your dark iron.
Well, there's nothing nothing else left here for anyone, so take what you want.
Okay. It's not too much of a worry, then. We'll get the knowledge later. We'll get in contact with that. Okay. Well, I think we need to form up our caravans, and we need to start marching home.
I'm thinking while they get themselves together, if I may step in a second, our group should head up first and make sure the swarm of people coming up isn't going to be met with, well, So it's clear without saying the notion of tons of deep dwarves coming up from the holes may not be received that well.
Yeah. Yes. That's why I assume Tora is going to be in the front, leading with us. The champion coming home.
Well,
Hey, I will gladly do so. And she looks to Danon, places her hand on his shoulder. By your side. Danon nods. It's appreciated.
I think the people might need time to get themselves ready to move anyway. So, sooner we head out the better.
I agree. Has anyone seen where Lise go? I think she headed off over there.
Yes, let's go. We'll have set when they started, the half of the dissenters started wandering off. Liska's gonna kind of look off after him for a while, and then just leave the beholder's head for a moment. And while everyone's kind of talking together, she's gonna wander off to look for some Arrakis.
Okay.
Oh no, that whole mess.
And
You do see one small group of Arrakis warriors kind of climbing down the wall towards your group, actually, along with a single drifting seer.
okay,
Sao sort of taps Aja's shoulder to make him aware of this.
well, y'all were still talking while this was happening. Liska wandered off for a while before y'all finished talking.
I know.
We'll become
I
aware
saw
of the
this as
ass end
well.
of the conversation.
But yes, after all this conversation is sort of over, Sao taps Aja on the shoulder and just points.
Let's wait. Let's
So-
let her actually have her interaction first.
Yeah,
so
but I'm not
when-
saying anything besides letting him know.
Cool. So when the Arrakis like come down. Liska's going to kind of like motion over to the seer, and when he gets close, she's going to kind of point her head like, "Can we speak mind to mind?"
Very
'Cause I know that's
well.
kind of a thing that they do, right? Yeah. Okay. Basically, Liska is going to say. Liska's basically going to look after the group that is walking away to go back to Blackforge or whatever, and she's going to be like, "You should." With you and everybody else
Oh,
getting
hello?
home.
Oh, hello. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed the
This is
entire
why I
first half
lost
of that because connection
Fine,
is a bit wobbly.
That's fine. Did you hear what I was saying?
No.
You
Sorry.
should
Okay. So Liska is going to, like, once they establish a telepathic link, she is going to say, "You should kill them once they get into the tunnels. You do not want a group that big, particularly one that would go back and be better armed and better armored, escaping just so they can continue a war with you. They have made their choice. They chose not peace, and now they have to live with the consequences, or rather, die with them." Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's a clack of the mandibles. Almost, you can sense a hint of eagerness and understanding, and an acknowledgement of your suggestion. It's, wordless. But you
Liska
gather
gives
it.
Liska gives a nod in return, and then says, "Do not speak of this to my allies. They might not have the stomach for the necessities of war."
Not at all. However, we have also been sent with orders to search for you. The Queen wishes to speak with you regarding rewards.
Well, I think you should tell my friends of that. And she's going to turn around, motion for them to come with, and walk back over to the group. Which I think probably about this time it gets pointed out by Sal.
Yeah, it's at this point as they all make their way towards the group. The seer notices the massive skull that Liska kind of left behind as she walked away from the group, and it clacks its mandibles with interest as its multiple eyes kind of shimmer against the fiery red light of some patches of nearby fungus. Clearly, it recognizes what this is, and it clacks its multiple spindly hands together. It addresses all of you.
The Queen wishes to speak with all of you. Please follow us.
Okay.
I'm so tempted to just say no and fuck
No.
off, but
No, we want to go home.
Sorry, I was reading something. Did he actively mention rewards, or did you say the Queen wants to speak with you all?
Mentions that the Queen wanted to speak with everyone.
Liska's like, he left out, they left out the part where she wants to give us rewards.
Nah, that was already going, but okay.
Well, no, not you, Crocs. I know you wanted to come along, but this is for everybody else. I mean, I'm always
So-
happy to get rewards from a queen.
Vladimir sort of steps away and says, Vladimir does not like these spider people. Kind of low voice, trying not to making sure the seer doesn't overhear.
Oh no, it's okay. You can speak. You can stay with Tora. It's fine.
I
Torres.
think I'll,
Tori just kind of says, Aye, this seems like a conversation between you lot and these things. I should go talk with Alara, see how she's holding up. Then I'll make preparations for this migration.
Well, I guess we're going then.
You're
Oh, I was being.
Jump.
There you go.
I just thought you were being
Audrey
introspective.
was gonna lean down to little Vladimir, take a knee. Stay with her. She's nice and strong. She'll be fine. You don't have to do anything that's wrong. Just keep that
She just holds it tight.
cover it with your tumor or something. Don't get too much attention, maybe, but it's okay. Well, I guess help them with procedures, let them know what's going on and what to expect. Make migration easier. Velen, I know how you are. Will you trust Torah? Or do you want to come, do you trust Torah enough, Fatima, to come get your own? Or do you want to go ahead? Not be there for that, possibly forsake a blessing or something. Or magic might have to be in person. And then stay with her and protect her. Where do you want to go?
It's not about trust, so it's not the okay, out of character. It makes no sense for Vellum to literally just ditch A, the egg, B, Vladimir, C, Torah.
No.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be a dingus and be like, oh, I'm gonna exclude myself from the plot meeting.
Your character does me.
Yeah, I want to be a dingus about it. And also time, so I can't really stick around too much longer anyway.
That's going to be a next session. I think we're going to start with the Iraqis and then go up to the top and level up, have a cinematic moment, and that's going to be the following session.
But these slipped in level up in the middle.
It was already
Yep.
established.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry, back in character. I think I'm gonna stay back as well, just to be safe. There's a
Good man.
lot more on the line there. So you think you're gonna sort of keep an eye on things while I'm not there?
I should be able to.
Alright, good. Well, don't get eaten.
I don't plan to.
Alright then. We will head off and we'll catch back up with you in a short time.
All right. I'll keep these two nutties safe. Kind of Tora just fist bumps Vellum on the thigh. It kind of hurts a bit. Ruffles Vladmir's hair.
Good. The both of you should teach her some hymns to sing along the way.
I'm sure we'll find something. It's gonna have a bit of a sit down.
Okay. With that, as the two Arrakis warriors and the seer making your way through the tunnels towards one of the nearest waystones. It's escorting you through the caves. You can see more corpses. One group of headless Arrakis bodies appears to have been devastated by a pair of mind flayers, who were then swiftly dissolved into nothing but mere skeletons by Weaver acid.
Our forces dwindle since the battle. The Ashskins supplemented their forces with creatures twisted by illicit minds.
Further ahead, surrounded by corpses of Arrakis seers and the body of a massive juggernaut, you can see an enormous spherical mass of tendrils laid partly strewn and bloodied across the ground. Upon closer inspection, your hearts skip a beat. It's slick and purple, and some of its tentacles are eye stalks. Looks not too dissimilar to the strange floating alien entity that you saw within the colony that was being experimented on and stitched up. Likely, these creatures were being deployed to counter the Juggernauts.
We suffered heavily, but it was not a Pyrrhic victory. We can replenish our numbers in time. The sustenance the ash-skin bodies and our fallen kin will provide to our young shall see to that.
So make your way up to a nearby waystone. Juggernaut stood next to it, likely to guard the position. One by one, place your hand on the waystone, making sure not to grab the way gem and take it with you. One by one.
That was only like 7 times.
Listener.
One by one. Shoo, 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 shoo. You are sucked through oblivion. And that's where we'll leave off. As you await your possible rewards from the Arrakis Spider Queen.
I hate the wording you just used.
Possible reward. We may just get eaten.
That's gonna be wet.
We're here to reward you with a swift death.
Bronco's just shakes his head.
No.
Turns into a giant fireman and just burns down their entire weapon.
The mandibles are just clicky clacky, and he just grabs them and closes them. No.
You know what I need to do? I need to have like some imposing Arrakis fucking drawing of them and synthetics and all that shit. And then it's just Grunka. He's got like both of his eyes facing in different directions. He's just zoning out. But on top of his head is fucking Webby. And it just zooms in. It does that whole bit of like, even now, the evil seed of what you've done germinates within you. As his cute little mandibles click.
Yeah. Yeah.
Webby's the big bad guy.
I am the Senate.
The BBEG we didn't know we had.
Yeah.
Everyone's worried about Balthazar, but they never thought about, what's a 20
Never
level
expected
Webby
that.
gonna look like?
What about Webby? What's that, What's the baby's name from Doctor Who? Lord Stormageddon or something?
What?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
When they said he could talk to babies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Is it Stormageddon? Hold on.
it's
Something
like
like that.
Stormageddon or something, Destroy Worlds.
Well, since
Yeah,
we
it's
wrapped up,
Stormageddon.
may I do
Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all.
skedaddle?
Okay. Does everyone want to do Skittles before we...
I would like to go first.
Yeah.
To skedaddle. Okay, so positive. Fuck you for making me feel things. Because goddamn, that's hitting real heavy. And yeah, hitting some real resonating tones right there. Nice work expediting certain things. Like we didn't have to fucking saunter our asses back to where we were to wake up. That was a nice bit. It's like, oh well, frump, you're awake. I liked the transition of how the piercing of the veil disappeared with the passing. That was a nice touch. Just a very solid session, and yeah, as I feel like I'd like to think that I wasn't so disruptive this time. Hopefully, I'm not wrong on that point, but I liked the opportunities for roleplay for everyone. So you did real good there. Negatives. Only negatives I can scrounge up is be with descriptive scenes. Like we had the whole lead up to the try if it's going to be one lengthy spiel, try not to leave gaps because that makes the players think that they need to contribute something or that they're expected to do something. Because it was like a couple of times where we stopped and we were all just idle and we're like, oh, are we supposed to say something or that sort of thing.
I think that may have been my connection cutting in and out. It's been doing that a lot this session.
Okay, well I'll forego that skittle then.
I mean, don't hold me on that. I think I might be misremembering. I think it was.
The only thing I can really dig up is next time you're planning the closing ceremonies, as it were. If try and make it so there's less to do after the sort of swell of the story point, because we had the big build up, the huge boss, shit happened, and then while it sort of came back down with the sentimental moment in the fucking forest, it went down and down to a low point because everyone was feeling low because of the emotional tension and the fact that everyone wanted to fucking go home, and yet we got like 5 more stops to make, 2 more lead figures, and while that wasn't intentional, I imagine, but while still necessary, in future try and plan around, have like as little between the players as respite as possible.
Okay.
But yeah, and as much as I'd like to chit chat before and reminisce about what just happened, I'm gonna go. I'm a skedoodle.
Okay.
Get some good rest.
Yeah, thank you. It was cool doing roleplay stuff with everybody. One more skills, Jenner. Add Kitesh to the goddamn whisper list. I wanted to use it, but I'm not there. I wanted to be doing religious flavoring all over this shit. But yeah, goodbye.
Alright, see you next week.
Does Gabo need to do anything? Because I also need to leave soon because I have barbecue waiting for me.
Oh.
You have anything, Gabo? Yeah, Gabo.
Oh, Gab.
Alright.
Did.
In that case, positives, the whole shtick with like setting the scene for like the Spirit Grove kind of realm thing was amazing. I really loved how, like, it was funny because I was sitting there like thinking about it. I was like, man, surprised Banner didn't put our characters in there like he did when we were entering the long winding way through the mountains to get to Dune Hollow. And then suddenly you're like, okay, bam, y'all guys are leading this thing of spirit creatures. It's like, okay, cool. So that was nice. I loved the changes to the maps, especially like it just provided a lot more depth and immersion to the world about how suddenly like we leave one place and then suddenly we come back and it's completely different. Like it's an interesting sensation. The whole thing with Astria was great. I liked the offer of roleplay and just, you know, everybody kind of pitching in and whatnot, being able to kind of do their thing. It wasn't a combat heavy session. We've had so much of those recently, so it's nice to kind of come back into it and kind of have the metronome swing the other way for a little bit. Negatives, I kind of want to touch on, like, Sable kind of went by it, like kind of had a somewhat parallel thing, but for like a lot of stuff, it was like, this is mostly for when we were walking through kind of like the Spirit Grove. It's like we had to be like, okay, we're going down the plateau, and then you say some kind of narrative thing. It's like, okay, that's cool, we saw that, but we're going down the plateau. And then you'd say a narrative thing not related, and we're like, okay, cool, we're going down the plateau. And then you kind of like start a narrative thing, and then we go down the plateau.
Okay, yeah. I don't start with anything like that.
And it's fine. It's just the biggest kind of thing that stood out was you were giving a lot of stuff. It was a big narrative moment where you were giving a lot of stuff that kind of prompts responses. Like, Grunka, you look up and you see this and that and this, and then you went silent, and there's like, okay, ooh, nice. And then we just kind of wait for you to pick up again. In those kind of situations, particularly if you want to narratively lead us to a spot, just do it. Like, just be like, as you walk this and that, you see this, you see looking up above you, the canopy seems to spread wide, and you can see the milky purple pearlescent glow of stars and galaxies above you, and yada yada yada. And as you make your way to, you see this plethora of creatures following behind you, and you make it to the mound. And it's like you can cut back on a lot, because particularly what really kind of stood out was after those lulls and we'd like have to kind of give a awkward response, you would repeat kind of a narrative beat, like something you've already described before. And that happened a few times, so you're kind of repeating yourself at like later on in that scene. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it was great. I loved the whole bit with Astria. Very emotional. Like, was just some good Dungeons and Dragonsing. After came back, yeah, I think just the biggest point is like no group likes railroading, but if it's a narrative railroad, that's okay. At least to me. Like, I don't mind you being like, okay, particularly when we're like, okay, we want to go there, and then you can just do it. Like, narratively lead us there, paint the scene, but have us end where we want to go.
I have a thing to add to that. Railroading is never fun if it's done either against the player's wishes or in something the players did not actively want to do.
Yeah.
If we want to go somewhere and you narrate something, you can be a bit railroady on that end.
Yeah, there's a difference between railroading and narrating us getting to a predetermined location by the party and circumstance. There's nowhere else for us to go. We're following the A. We've established that.
Yeah.
Right?
Remember.
So that's not railroad. That's convenience.
If the story is set on a piece of rail, don't close the blinds and tell us about the scenery. Narrate the scenery instead. Let us, see beyond the windows. Worst comes to worst, we'll hand you the stick to the train so you can just run the story if we are okay with that part.
Do you have anything else you need to add, Aiden?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just good, and I've heard
go enjoy your fucking barbecue, man. Great job today. I loved these people play. You did a very good job.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
I think everybody
a big fighter is showing more depth. She's always had depth to her, but I love that she isn't just the I hit thing fighter. She has more to her. Despite, her alignment of being good, she's totally willing to say, hey, go kill all those people. Because she understands the repercussions and it's the lesser evil to kill them. So,
yeah. I was about to comment
I
on
love
that.
the depth to her.
I was about to comment on that because it didn't take me by surprise as much as it took me by, I guess, realization that, oh yeah, Liska is military trained in way more ways than Sao is, and having a literal split off faction that is violently hostile towards you is like, yeah, that's a no bueno.
See. Alright,
so
well,
props to you for that. Go eat your barbecue. I need a plate for me because I can't eat that shit right now.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and I shall have some extra for you. Y'all have a good one.
Get that coleslaw.
Jenner again. Coleslaw.
So
Again, great session. Fantastic. Y'all,
Yeah.
we'll see you next week.
so yeah.
Get some boykins.
So, Janet, I have a question.
Yes.
That dragon who died in the Twilight Vale, was that the dragon that Mule saw when she died?
Yes.
Huh.
Same thing.
Fucking called it.
Yep.
I knew it before the moment Jenner even explained what was going on. I was like, yep.
Yeah, well, I knew it before Nero even died.
Does anyone have any other skittles, or shall I stop
Yeah.
recording?
I think I have one, but I think it's more of a skill towards us.
Yeah, no, that
Party.
definitely applies.
Wait,
I've sort of been noticing it a bit more and more when it comes to, I don't want to say narrative moments, but like when we have to do something that is of importance to the story, we tend to pussyfoot around it, I guess.
Yeah, like insulting and fuck you to the big ominous voices and things like that.
But I mean this more so in, this is also towards myself. We really need to just decide on a motion to take things and just go with it. Because we can't just, get the best of both worlds all the time.
And what do you mean? I'm afraid I don't completely understand what you're talking about.
The persuasion of the splintered dwarfs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we tried, and, it was good and
Yeah,
all, but
there was the rolls, and the rest that came afterward was just roleplay. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting anything to come from it. That was just a Liska with Odger. A moment with Liska and Odger.
Also updated the egg handout. There you go.
yeah.
hey, well, I'm probably also gonna hop off too, so that my game's now about to start.
Hey, cool. Have a great time.
Before I go, Gianna,
Yeah.
that question I asked you in DMs.
I feel like that's not relevant to the current discussion, so I will answer it in DMs.
Didn't know if you had seen it yet or not, just letting you know.
Yep, I've seen it.
Ah, okay, well, I'm gonna go now. Bye!
Oh, righty.
Bye. Boy,
Uh,
There he goes.
So, anyone else?
I think
Nope.
that's it.
Alright then.
Good job.
Yeah. I liked how that session went.
Me
Mostly.
too.
Besides the courses, but that's it. Anyway, 3, 2, 1.